I'm not sure I'm hearing anything.
Because I'm still muted. Now, yeah, you can hear me. Could you have heard Percy a minute ago? Because I unmuted him like half a minute ago and
Yeah,
forgot
yeah.
to unmute me. Yeah, like I was saying, it wouldn't be one of the things I was streaming if the sound worked right away. So yeah, here we go. So Percy was saying we're supposed to be drinking Molson. And he is. Uh, I am drinking Labatt's Blue. Because Molson is sold out at every store in Fond du Lac. So, popular brew. Uh, but where I grew up in Detroit, right across from Windsor, uh, Canada, Labatt's was very popular. So this is sort of like a trip down memory lane.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I know what picnic means, Tony. I just wasn't acknowledging you. Anyway, I always say error and share. Anyway, all right. Yeah, I'm not blaming the computer at all. There are little switches, and I just have to remember to turn them on and off, and I forget every time. All right. So, this is our first discussion of the second campaign, the online campaign. We'll be playing this one on this channel, and we are moving. I think what I was trying to show here was we were moving from. What is it? Why won't you help me? Oh, because I'm on the wrong change map. Okay. We're moving from this area, which is what we've been building before. This is going to be at our table game that we play at my house, which will not be online, but we'll do summaries and stuff. And we are moving now over. Man, why let me. Now we are moving over to this area. Really will not let me do the grab thing. I don't know why it won't let me grab. There's a little thing that switches this to a hand, and the error is in the chair because I can't remember which button it is that I'm supposed to do that with. Oh well, it doesn't matter. So this is the area we're gonna be. Oh, spacebar. Duh. All right. This is the area we're gonna be working in. I'm gonna go to a zoom in map. What we know is the area we're working in here is sort of the Donacam area of Navyshla. So, Percy, let's start off with what's your character's name?
Cole Lavin.
Cole Lavin. And what is Cole got the pronouns? Is he a he, she a she?
He's a he.
He's a he, okay. And I am given to understand he is water folk.
Yeah, he's Water Genasi.
Alright. So, now, we spoke before we went live on the stream about the fact that we've created a variant of Genasi already, but we can do another variant of Genasi, and it can hew very close to what Genasi is, and not be anything like what Dusty's character is in the table game. Or it can be related highly to that. Do you have a preference?
You said that they're more of like watchers, and that's kind of what I'm thinking for this character too.
Okay.
So we can keep with the theme.
Keep with the theme. Okay. So, and where you sent me a city profile as well. for this area here, and you said it was in the Sea of Donacam.
Yeah, I figured that it would be nice for the sea folk to have their own little town.
Yeah.
And it's basically wreckages of ships from a long time ago. There must have been some kind of battle because there's a lot of ships down there,
Love it.
and they the sea folks, so like sea elves and genasi and um, Triton, they all live down there now.
And
They're their own little community. You mentioned maybe it'd be close to some place where people would know.
I asked
They
if you would want that, or if you would want it to be like only a few in the know people would know.
they have trade.
Okay.
They do pearls. Um, I can't remember what other things that I gave them as far as what they would trade to the land folk.
Pearl divers, but they don't really have to dive. They're more like pearl walkers, I guess, you know.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
uh, cool. All right, so then it wouldn't be super obscure, really.
No. And for their land folks, they've set up a raft on top of the town so that they have like a port.
Yeah, it's sort of like a wharf in reverse. Like this is where the boats dock to go down instead of, and so they pull up. Yeah, I love that. I think that's so fun. Um, would maybe somewhere near, can you see? I know you can't see the way I'm seeing it, but can you see on the Twitch what I'm circling?
Yep.
Okay. That is what I was kind of thinking might be a good place for Adamak.
Sure.
And so this may be to take. I'm just riffing off of what you just said. So there's all these shipwrecks at the bottom of the sea, and you said maybe there was a battle, and so maybe these islands at one point were like really valuable, and there was a big naval battle over the resources on these little islands, and they're worthless, and everybody's sort of abandoned it, and there's all these ships at the bottom of like this sort of lower or this higher lying ocean floor. I don't know.
Worked for me.
That works for you? Okay.
Oh yeah.
So let's start with. I hate that it's really shrinking a bit. Cool. Shrink it. Shrinking. That looks. Yep. 20. Perfect. Okay. So now we'll get into your. Well, let's talk about like what's the culture of Adamek. I know you wrote a couple pages of description for me, but just so that we can maybe riff off that a little bit. Um, it's sort of open to anybody who can kind of breathe underwater, and then people who come to the raft can get a potion of water breathing to go down. But it's pretty. You had like magistrates and so I mean, tell me a little bit about the culture of Adamak as far as like nice place to live, violent place to live, pretty
It's pretty chill.
okay.
I would think that you're off in your own little world underneath the water, so not a lot of threats to the town. I did put some guards and stuff in, and basically said that if you want to attack the town, then everybody's going to defend it.
Okay.
Some more capable than others.
Okay. Basically, a nice, fairly chill village. It just happens to be underwater.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like
Doesn't.
the different races do work together.
Okay. So no grimness there along like the Tritons do this and the Lokatha or whatever do that, or but everybody's just works together to make the town work for the
Yeah,
most part. I'm sure there's people who are
yeah,
like you're on my lot line and you built your tree fell on my yard and but
and like any town.
yeah, like any town, right? Okay. And so are you from there originally, or have you claimed it as your hometown after coming from somewhere else?
No, I'm from there.
Yeah.
My parents are the managers of the grocery store,
Okay.
or what passes for a grocery store in an underwater society.
Gotcha. One of the things, now this is something that we can either do differently or you can leave it open for interpretation. When I say open for interpretation, I mean might become a plot point later in the game. uh, is uh, the way Dusty's described her group coming to be is that an elemental mated with a material plane person, and then they were sent out. These half elemental sent out into the. Now it is maybe you don't know you're a half elemental in the same way. Maybe you don't know your history. Maybe your mom or dad, whichever one it was, didn't tell your other dad uh, or your other mom.
Yeah,
I think the
like
mother
you
mom
said,
would know. The other mom would know. um,
yeah.
yeah. Um, but
Or maybe this happened in the past, and now they basically just started a new society.
ooh, okay. So some maybe you guys are a like you're separatists from the rest of the Mangine sort of way of doing things. That would be fun.
Sure.
Okay, and maybe that's why underwater, although wouldn't be safe from the water elementals, but just there's a way. Maybe one of the things your character will have, and I'm thinking about doing this anyway as starting like storyline things. If anybody wants to have like a non-offensive magic weapon, but maybe you've got like an amulet of shielding where people, you can't be seen by scrying and stuff. That might be fun. Family's got these things that keep hidden from the eyes of others. That might be a fun item to
Yeah.
start out with.
Yeah. Something that doesn't really wreck the game
Yeah, it
as
doesn't.
far as balance.
Not really. Yeah, because who's scrying on a bunch of level oneers? So, um, okay. I did say magical item, Tony. But I think Percy summed it up very nicely with something that wouldn't wreck the game. So, uh, anyway, so okay, cool, all right. And so, what does you're playing? The class is you're gonna play a bard, right?
Yep.
Okay. And what do they do now in Adamak?
What they did do was they had a shop where they
Adamak.
sold pearls,
That's
but they failed at that business, and as a result of it, they owe a lot of money. Technically, their parents owe a lot of money. So his idea is to go out into the real world and try and become famous as a bard.
okay. And earn coin, obviously. Send it back
And earn money. Yeah, yeah,
and send it back to your parents. This sending money back to my. I keep saying Adamak, and it's Adanak. Uh, Um, so as a bard, let's actually say, if we do that, like gem of mind shielding or whatever I think it's called, do that, it'll only be good against elementals.
Okay.
And then, because I don't want to screw up your backstory either, like why would somebody who's hiding from watchers go out and try to be famous? But I like the idea of trying to go out and become famous, and you're fairly sure that you're good. Maybe you've disguised yourself adequately. You don't look like water genasi tend to have blue skin, right? Like,
Yeah.
and you don't have to have that. Want to? Can.
I actually got a picture made up for it,
Oh,
so
cool.
I kind of have to be.
It's the Al Capano of this. Al Pacino? That what you have a picture? Is it I can get
Yeah,
or
I'm just looking for it right
oh
now.
cool. Um,
There you go.
right. I wonder if I put it on the stream,
Nope. Go ahead.
but I'll figure that out maybe over time here. Uh oh, Al Capone. Oh man, for some reason I thought for sure you were going with Al Pacino on that one. Al Capone. Somebody is the Al Capone, not Percy's character, because Percy's like somebody's trying to they owe money to somebody who's
Well, it's like any business. When you're starting out, you don't have your own money, so you gotta borrow it from somebody. And maybe this is the seedier side of Adanak.
how is it a loan shark type situation? Sure.
I would think so,
Okay.
because
Then
he's forced to pay the money back, and if you got it from a bank, you could just declare bankruptcy, and they would be okay with that.
ish.
Ish, yes.
um, but they're not going to break your legs necessarily. Whereas there
That
are,
depends whether I pay or not.
well, the threat is right now to harm potentially you and your family if the money's not paid back.
Right.
Okay, so you have gone abroad. All right. So, uh, tell me a little bit about the bard here. What are you, a musical bard, dancing bard, acting bard, all of the above?
Musical.
Okay.
I guess whatever makes them the most money,
Probably.
probably.
All right. And he's going from town to town. So, uh, how long has he been out in the larger world?
I would think a number of years.
Number of years. Get this. I must.
I listed his age as 33, so
It ages
you
like
know.
a human.
Yeah, probably.
Right. And maybe went first to this sort of oh god, to this capital city here, the blank yard, and kind of working inland. Maybe there's
Yep.
some fun stories of trouble that got you out of the capital. This, where you're gonna make the most money here, but maybe. And now I'm just riffing again because I have very little backstory for this area. You're the first one, so here we go. Uh, so maybe Crimson Witch is like an up and coming town, and not all of the bards are there already. So maybe like going to where not a prospecting town, because that's what I'm doing. The other one, like a logging town, maybe frontier town. Uh, some people are going out there to get rich. I don't know. I'm just riffing. I don't know if any of that appeals to you. If it doesn't, tell me and we'll move on to something else.
That works.
Um,
There seems to be some trees there, so maybe a little bit of logging and
yeah, I can add more trees too. So
yeah.
it's in fact, I think. Oh, that tree's too big. I am gonna tree. Uh, so perfect, right? So maybe this is a logging town up on Compston Lock, and maybe it's appealing to it's coal, right? Is that what you said? Coal.
Yep.
It's appealing to coal because it's near water. Well, Blankyard's right on. That's a dumb reason.
Yeah. It's a big city, and maybe it's just saturated with musicians, and
Okay.
he thought he'd try inland a little bit.
Perfect. All right, so we got a forest crimson witch gone there. How long do you think you've been there now? Like maybe not too long because we want it still to be exciting.
Yeah, maybe like 3-4 months.
Okay. Enough to maybe have a room in the inn, know a couple people in town, even have a friend or two in town at this point. Maybe even a
Sure.
steady gig. So, well, that if we're gonna have a bard, one of the things I'd like to do is to have um, a bar that's not an inn, because it seems like every place you go in D&D, if they serve drinks, they have a place to sleep. So I was thinking maybe it'd be fun to have a location that's just a straight up saloon. Maybe we'll even go Wild West with this and say it's a saloon. And you're the 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 musician in residence, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just riffing.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
It's kind of a bardy thing to do. You find a nice tavern or, like you said, saloon, and maybe they've got a back room that they can set up as a bedroom, and
Yeah,
that's where you sleep.
yeah. Maybe you've got like a like in the closet under the stairs, Harry Potter style.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not great. Whatever it is, it's just a little like cot in a small room kind of situation. I like it. Got any ideas for a fun name of a shitty saloon?
No, not really.
No, I don't either. Right off the top of my head. Uh, um, uh, it adds line stuff for geography. Adds line art. Yeah, it does. So like I can add mountains and just slap on different trees. I can choose the style of the tree, choose the style. Those are the styles that I just like for my maps. So thank you. Um, so Chris is asking, refresh me, does table game happen in the past or does online game happen in the past? They're going to be happening concurrently. I did say they weren't going to be happening concurrently, and then I realized I didn't want one group to have things that could affect the other group once you get to higher enough levels where you would be affecting each other's timelines. I would rather deal with that in real time than have to try to figure out, like, oh, well, now this mountain's been blown apart because Percy's character blew it up, with a shatter spell at level 15.
Does that mean that there's a chance that we could meet each other?
Yes. But it's sort of a one-way street in a lot of ways. Like the people from the table game could maybe guest star one of or two of them on the online game, but because like you're in Canada and Tony's in Florida, and that you guys couldn't just drive over to my house to play at the table game one day unless you really wanted to. But I think for some of you that would be like a
That
20
depends
hour
on how much
drive.
money you want to spend.
Yeah, exactly. That's yeah. So it's a one-way street kind of thing. So I'm trying to keep them mostly separate, but I don't want to update things um or have sort of paradoxes because of timeline changes, because somebody did something that was 50 years in the past, and now all of a sudden I gotta go, hey, the thing you did, that's not true anymore because they did this thing. Uh, so I'm just having them be concurrent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Uh, and I just hope that to keep them separated as much as possible. I just figure if I'm gonna build a whole ass world, I might as well run.
Well, it's a good way to get different areas built up.
Tony in the chat has suggested a couple saloon names: the Cart and Buggy, the Pie-Eyed Platypus, and the Wetted Whistle. I don't dislike any of those.
Oh, they're all pretty good.
Yeah,
I like the pie-eyed platypus.
I do too. It assumes the platypus is a thing in this world, which I don't see why it wouldn't be. Why not have weird? Why not both? It is now, yeah. Sure. Ooh, both are true. Wetted Whistle and the Wetted Whistle both work. It's canon. We'll explode it. Well, all right. So, if we go with the pie-eyed platypus or the wetted whistle, either one of those, that's where you're going to be. That you've got a reason to be there. And you've got a bunch of. I kind of like the idea. It might not be logging. I'm gonna still keep the forest up there. Maybe it started as logging, and maybe there's something new. And lots of people are influxing to Crimson Witch. Um, it's getting to be an interesting place to be. And you're starting to make a little cash. We'll start off with that. As far as so, I don't know. I think that sounds good. The Loggerhead.
That's pretty good too.
That's really good. I like that one. Okay. So, how much money do you need to make to get your parents out of Hawk?
I wrote that down somewhere.
I need to grab another beer.
One second. Well, to be honest, I had kind of left it up to you
Okay.
as far because I don't know how free you are with giving away money.
I think most players in my games would say I'm a tight ass.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be. It just sounds like a place Swayze would hang out, says Ed. I agree. But even more importantly,
I had 10,000 gold.
would Sam Elliott be there?
But I don't know how much it would like to start up a business.
Well, what we said, man. So like on Storm King's Thunder, Casey had it at like a little over 5K, I think. Oh, Dawson's about to say something for the record. I think Casey had it at like something like 5K for us to buy into an existing business, and I think in Dragon Horde, Dragon Heist, sorry. I think he said, this is always fun for people to watch somebody looking up stuff. Look. But there was actually a price. Getting this started. School for business. In order to get everything up and running in Waterdeep, so 5,000 is not what Kate said. I can't remember. But basically, it was about 2,250 gold to get a tavern up and running. Now I don't know if that would be more or less expensive than a pearl export-import business, but
Yeah, like a jewelry shop. Probably be a little more expensive because you need to buy like diamonds.
yeah. So I think I mean when you're talking selling rare cut gems, then I'm thinking 10,000 is appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay. So all right, on the record, your family owes 10,000. I'm gonna say you said you've been gone for a couple years, and in
Yeah.
order to keep them off their back, originally it was 10,000. In order to keep them off his back, he needs like 100 gold a month, and so far you've been able to make that just barely happen with what your parents have brought in with what they're doing too. So there's always going to be a little bit of tension. But you always have to be able to send 100 gold back on the month.
All right.
And I will bear that in mind, and I will not be an overly stingy SDM. But for
maybe
conflict,
that's a plot point where they come in and
maybe you have to bring your
threaten
friends
the
to
group.
Adenac. Or maybe you guys have to go to Adenac and rescue your parents, or
Yeah, maybe.
that would be fun too. I will figure out all of that. I will be working out the amortization schedule. I'll be looking at the net present value and how it will, you know, change from whatever the payment schedule is back to current. uh, if they have to pay 100 a month, the amortization is low. But well, not super low, but low.
I would think probably 100 gold a month is a lot of money for most people.
Oh, it's a ton. It's a lot. But on a $10,000 loan, depending on how long that guy wants to have it spread out and how much interest he's charging, it wouldn't be a ton. I'm not going to sit with my financial calculator. Uh, but I might later. Uh, so what I want to know is this: you got a name for your big bad?
For the guy with the loan?
Yeah, or do you want me to name him?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't come up with a name for him.
I will do that. I will, and if anybody's got suggestions in the chat, open to that, because we all know what kind of names we come up with on this channel when we use the random name generator. Hardo Bulge is coming to mind right now. So, but maybe we should open up the fantasy random name generator and see what happens. All right. So, couple questions I'm going to ask from Mashit. I think we got a handle on what your character's primary motivation is, right? Like, it's to get that loan paid off.
Yeah. He needs money.
Who, if anyone, is your character closest to?
In his new town? Or, like, I have his mother and father. His mother's name's Wave, and his father's name's Crash.
Love it. You got hippie parents.
I put down that she's friendly and welcoming to strangers, and the father is a taskmaster. So he's not very happy that Cove went into debt.
Okay. The name that came up is Gurgo Skaklax. I don't.
Hardo bulge is what Ed said.
That's well, that's one of the ones that came out of the random name generator for Dusty's game on Monday. We were like, you didn't say that out loud before you put it into the chat, did you? And yeah, Virgo. I'm gonna put it into the chat here. This is what came up for me as a potential name of your loan shark. I'm not opposed to it. If anybody riffs off that and
Yeah,
comes up with something better, or if you have something better, let me know.
that sounds good.
Okay, I was not asking who you were closest to in this town, although that's a great second question. This is a Call of Cthulhu thing. One of the questions they ask when you make a character in Call of Cthulhu is who are you closest to, so that the keeper can mess with them and add to the tension. But I already had kind of picked up that if I was going to do something to add to the tension of your character, situation with your family.
He'd probably be close to the bouncers in the bar and maybe even the bar owner.
Okay. Sir and bar owner. That will be next thing. Mark the Shark. It's Chris's character name for campaign. Only it's said with a Australian accent. Mark the Shark. What is your most treasured possession?
Pearl. It's the only thing I have left for my business.
Is it a pearl worth 100 GP?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. That could come in handy.
Yeah, that's why I took it, because it seemed like Identify would be something that, like, it's the low level spell that nobody can use because nobody has 100 gold.
Well, we'll put that one there, and we're also going to say that that's because I don't want to have a whole bunch of stuff, but I think that's also your talisman that shields you.
Sure.
So that pearl is very important. All right.
And it's worth 100 gold, so that might be something that I would have to send back to the parents
If you didn't make it.
if I can't make the money.
Ooh. So I'm going to say that they're usually good for between 25 to 35. You've only had to come up with 65 to 75 each month.
Okay.
That the reason is I'm just not sure. Like as a bard, it would be touch and go, and you've probably been hungry too, because you've had to send so much money home, and you're eating like ham sandwich, slice of ham on your hand.
Maybe going out into the woods and killing myself a deer.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Let's see, I know this because you've already answered it. I read in the Adanek thing that you sent. I don't know that if you addressed this. If you didn't, how religious is your community in Adanek? Does it have a centralized religion? Now, there are the 15 dragons that are the prime deities.
No, I don't think I put anything about the religion.
What do you think about it?
I would think that they'd probably worship some sort of elemental. Like, makes sense, they're water people.
If some of you are hiding from the elementals, some are worshiping, that could create some tension for your family.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Ideas. I'm making a Percy full. It's alright. Adanak. Ships elements. Dragons. That might come in handy too. So the rest of the world worships the dragons and does not pay attention at all to the element. So this will be a big difference. And that's cool. I love it. But just, that might be a plaything for me, just so you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. I always like to tell people that because they're like, I didn't realize this would cause so much trouble for my character. So it might. uh, it's something for me to poke at, to make a story. Uh, Ed says I was gonna say maybe they don't like to say loan shark in an underwater village. Yeah, maybe they say lone badger. Uh, or maybe they do. They're way more familiar with sharks than their nature knows. Interesting. Okay. Back to sheet. Um, let's see. Okay. How did your character become a bard?
Out of necessity.
Okay. Just had a little natural talent and is leaning into it.
Yeah. Well, the jewel crafting business didn't work out for him, so he can play a few instruments.
All right. I have not made this canon yet, but one of the things I was kicking around was that you know how they say the College of Lore, College of Valor, for the Bard subclasses. Is I was actually going to create a Bard University for Navyshla that had all of those colleges at it,
Uh-huh.
and pick your college at 3, right? Is it 3 for
Right.
Bards?
Yeah.
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 Um, Part of me goes, it's you don't have time to go to college, so you're like a hedge bard, in a way. Like you're picking it up, like you're not going to the fancy colleges. You're becoming a bard the hard way. Like, does that make? And
Yeah.
again, I'm not
Yeah.
even sure I'm gonna do the university thing, but I'm thinking I might throw that out there. Or maybe you want to go to the university. Maybe that's something in the back of your mind.
Well, I don't think my guy could afford to go to university.
No,
So unless he's getting some kind of grant, and even then he'd still owe the money.
right? He'd need to be making the money on back, right? So I don't know. I'm not sure I want to do that anymore. Like it was just a fun thought. Like I bought the Strixhaven book for the sole purpose of creating a bard college based on how they study.
Yeah,
Um,
it honestly never made sense to me that bards have to go to college at level 3. Like, you
I
don't go to college for a week.
yeah, no, I think they meant like maybe they studied ahead of time. It didn't make sense to me that they didn't know until level 3.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
you got warlocks and priests that are clerics that get their subclass at level 1. I think they probably should have done that with bards too.
yeah, you've already gotten schooled on your lore and your songs that you know and tales and the histories that you tell. That's what I think. But
Yeah.
it's still fun that it's a college because they can't name everything Path or Pact, So, all right. So then, type. Um. So, next question I had was if it's through necessity, like what instrument are you thinking of going with, or are you just a straight singer? Or are you
I have a Shaw.
Sean? That's
Sean. That's
what
like
is
a
that?
guitar,
It's like a guitar. Okay.
harp kind of thing. And then I'm proficient in horn and hand drum too.
Okay.
So maybe I'm like a one man band.
With the knee clappers and everything. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Uh, all right. Let's see. I think I've heard so much. Um, this is one of my favorites. If you looked at these, I have 2 more questions that I want to get through before we call it a night. Uh, do your people have a creation story? Um, Especially if you're worshiping elementals, which is a new idea here. This is going to be like a minority religion on the vision.
Um, if they do, I don't think Cove really leaned into it much.
Mhm.
Maybe his parents weren't very religious either.
Well, because they know, they know how you made, and so maybe you don't know it, but like, so you never went to all their like Bible schools and stuff. Uh, and maybe were your parents maybe on the fringe?
Maybe
Okay,
that would make sense.
all right, cool. Uh, and then this is another one that's like just a huge big question that I love if you've got something that I can build off of. How do your people think the world will end if it will?
Oh, I think in their perfect world, it all gets drowned in water.
And they all get to survive, so like the rest of
Yeah, yeah,
these heretic dragon believers
yeah,
are all going to get flooded out in a great flood.
yeah. That
Oh,
would make sense.
I like that. I like that. Okay. Um do you those were the two big questions I had, but because you've answered a ton of these already, so we've already gone bunch. The couple that I do like to ask, I'm just like scrolling through my questions and going, okay, which ones have I not gotten to? Uh, does your character have a fear other than the fear they have for their parents?
I would think
Gurgos
that he's not
Scatlax.
real comfortable in where he is right now,
Okay.
mostly because he's lived most of his life underwater, and now he's just trying to survive
Okay.
in the real world,
And this is
like a
all
fear of
unfamiliar.
failing.
Fear. With saying he's a fish out of water, says Bruno. Awesome. Uh, so one of the things that I like to do is have sort of a beginning theme. Uh, um, so going to the large Navyshla map, uh, the story that we're going to be telling over here in Ervocale is going to be one of uh, sort of politics are on the back end. There's going to be an awakening of deep dark things. And what I was thinking with this one up here, Donacam, uh, is that there is a sense of impending war, and that Buxleydale is under threat from whatever this eastern adversary is. This eastern adversary has been amassing power, and I don't know yet what that power is. But if anybody has ideas, I would love to know. Are they like conscripting mages? Are they conscripting priests? Are they did they find a new powerful magic that nobody else knows of? I don't know, but there's a threat to the east. Is sort of the theme that I have for the online game.
Well, there was a big naval battle in that area
Yeah.
many years ago. Maybe that's happening again.
Okay. So maybe that space that's here near Adonak, maybe your home is going to become a place of interest as this eastern nation starts threatening Buxleydale and the Protectorate, which is a protectorate. I can't remember, but I like it. I like it. All
But
right.
keep in mind, I'm your first player that you're talking to. Others might have better ideas.
It's the way it goes. It's not the way it goes necessarily. Better ideas come whenever they come. Good ideas come whenever they come. It's just I don't have as much to push against, and neither do you. So we're just starting it out here. We're building the scaffold. So, uh, but I think we got a good jump on it. Uh, we've got a tavern in Crimson Witch. We've got you having been there for 3 months. We know that there's this sea town underwater in the Sea of Donacam. We know that there is a small group water elementals who have broken free of the Manjan code and are hiding in the Donacam Sea. We know that you're on a quest to save your parents from a lone shark. It'd be really funny if he was a shark. If we made them a guy shark, like a shark human, like if I made a new race of shark people. Um, that'd be so dumb, but I might do it anyway. Uh, then what did Ed say here? Maybe something of power was lost in the naval battle, and they're trying to reclaim it. That's what I was. That I think that's what I picked up from what Percy was saying. That's where I was going with it too. Is maybe that naval. Maybe there's something underneath Adenac that all of a sudden that'll become a focal point of this Eastern power has become aware of it, and they're going to come get it. Uh, I like that. So
Or it
the
doesn't even have to be in the town anymore. It could have been brought on land.
yeah, but nobody knows where it is now. But they're traced it to Adenac as its origin
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then they go from there.
which is a perfect
That's
like.
probably a good idea.
Yeah, it's like Indiana Jones-ish, right? Like you gotta, he had to go to Nepal first to find out where the thing was, then go to Egypt, So, uh, oh, I like that. Maybe we'll do an Indiana Jones style thing. Like you guys have got to find the artifact before, but first you have to figure out that people are looking for the artifact. Then you have to figure out what the artifact is. Then you need to figure out where it, if how to handle it, and maybe you don't get it. You have to steal it. Oh, so many fun things we could do. Who knows? And it's all open to whatever happens. I love it. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about it. Percy, got anything else you want to chat about
Nope, that
tonight?
was pretty much it.
All right. Well, I think we got a good jump on it. Thanks. This is a great first start here. Well, it's a great start. This is not a first start. It's start is a first. That's redundant. Uh, but it was a great start on our online campaign world building. So thanks for being the first one to jump in. Appreciate it.
Not a problem.
All right. We're gonna split everybody. The next thing happening on Role Play Give is Sunday night, I believe. Yep, I think it's Sunday. We're playing against the Giants at 6:30 at the Malibu of the Midwest Standard Time Zone, 6 Central Time. Uh, it's the Malibu in the Midwest because on your computer it says Sheboygan, and God knows why they use Sheboygan. Sheboygan calls itself the Malibu West. You don't know why. Probably because you can surf there. Anyway, we'll be playing Giants on Sunday. Until then, roll some dice, play some games, give your time or treasure to causes that are meaningful. Cheers, everybody.